So today's video I'm going to be explaining how I created the cloning effect with 5 clones using Adobe Premiere Elements 10. Now I'll go into detail of how I actually achieved those effects and what I did to set them up. This will give you a little bit of insight to how to make good quality cloning videos. Okay, so you've got a rough idea where everybody's going to be sitting, standing. There's so many ways you can do a different cloning video. The way I chose to do the video was I shot about 2 minutes of the background just as a template, if you like. So literally it was just footage of that, which was 2 minutes, just nothing else. Then obviously you shoot each one by one in order to sync all the conversations, because he has a conversation with him who then talks back and then has a conversation with the next person who acknowledges him. The easiest way to do that is, I only had about a minute's worth of footage in the end of all 5 of them together, but I shot about 3 minutes worth of dialogue for each. They were just doing random things. That way it made it easier to just line them up and the effect worked. I didn't need the 3 minutes of footage, but I just had it so it's easier to time it, because if you time it precisely to minutes worth of footage exactly, you'll get mistakes. And it's just more complicated. The other way I did it was by layering it. As I said, I used Adobe Premiere Elements 10. It only lets you use 4 videos, if you like. If you lap 4 videos on each other, which means I could do a max of 4 clones. The way I did this was I edited 2 of the clones in together, finished the video, pulled it back in, added the other 2, finished it, pulled it back in, and so on and so on. So that's basically it for setting everything up and physically shooting the video. The main key things you have to remember, which is the dialogue to try and line it up straight, the positioning to make sure they don't overlap, and of course the most important, which is the lighting. With all that shot, now the only thing to do was to edit it, so let's have a look at the editing process. Okay, so I've opened up Adobe Premiere Elements 10 here, as you can see, and what I've done is I've pulled in all the relevant files to do with this video. Now, I've already pretty much chopped and sorted most of the beginning and ending, and as you can see in the middle bit here of those 2 videos overlapping each other there, that is the first 2 clones. The way you actually do the effect is you overlap the videos, as you can see there, and in the edit section at the top, under the effects, if you just want to search, basically type in GAR into the search, it'll pull up this particular effects I use. Now you have 3 different choices. There's a 4, 8 and 16 point garbage mate. Now I use the 16 point because it gives me 16 points to play with, as you can see here. Now the way this guy's clone was actually done was, as you can see, I've followed the outline of the room so you can't see it. That way it's hidden, the actual edit lines are hidden. After I did 1 or 2 clones, I then finished the video and then pulled the video back in and added the last couple of clones. As you can see, on this particular one, I've got all 5 clones. Now, the most important thing you've got to remember is the lighting and contrast behind it, because it's ever so slightly different, as you can see here. The way I've actually managed to fix this is another effect, which if you just, as you saw me, just drop down that little menu there and go to colour correction. Now there's a auto-tone and vibrance one there, which is brilliant, because as you can see, without the effect, you can notice on the far left clone there how he's got a shadow around it where he's basically been edited in. So the way I've got around that is to use this particular autotone and vibrance effect, which once you just literally drag it onto the video in question, and as you can see it's changed colour. Now if you go into the edit effects and just click that one, which is the autotone, just kill that checkbox because you want to manually slide it. As you can see, it's going dark or lighter. Just keep doing it until you match the backgrounds. Now the cameraman clone, who's the middle one there, I didn't actually do this effect on him. I left it pretty much on purpose so you can ever so slightly see his outline on it. So once explaining the video, when you go back and look at it, you can see what happens if you don't use this particular effect. It's probably one of the most important ones if you're doing a clone video, is you've got to match the backgrounds perfectly to it, or else people will notice your edit lines, as you can see with the cameraman. Just to show you this early test, if you look on the left, I've not done the colour correction, and this is what happens if you don't get your editing points right. You see the top of my head be chopped off. This is why I use the 16 point instead of the 4 point. So this is the video with just the 2 clones in. As I said before, the middle one I didn't use the colour correction effect, and there's a very slight jump edit, as you can see. This is why you have to use the autotone and vibrance effect. Okay, so this is the next layer, which adds in the drunk. And as you can see, I've lined them up easily. Here's run number 4. I'm just doing it 1 clone at a time, it's just easier that way. And finally, the finished product, with all 5 clones. You can literally do as many clones as you want with this method, because there is no physical end. If you just keep pulling it back in, as long as you've got space to move around without overlapping, you can do as many clones as you like. Well, I hope it's given you a bit more insight of how to create OK quality cloning video. The best thing to do is just trial and error. There's no one perfect way, you've got to just keep trying all the different methods to find the one which works for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Just a quick note, I'm having the next couple of weeks off, so I will not be making any videos for a few weeks, so it'll be 2 to 3 weeks, or pretty much as normal, before my next one's out, so see ya!